And recording.
Hi, I'm Jason Walters, and this is my informative speech, and this is my audience.
I'm Nikki Walters. I'm a part of the audience, and I will be assisting Jason in his speech.
Hello, I'm Joe, part of the audience.
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm part of the audience. I'm Robin.
And I'm Chuck.
Some say that a boat is just a hole in the water in which you sink money into. If you've ever gone boating, you know how amazing a day on the water can be. Whether it's for water sports on the lake or going offshore for deep sea fishing, a boat can create moments you'll never forget. In addition, if you've ever gone boating, you know of all the problems that an outboard can have. It seems like a never-ending list of problems that can be expensive to fix. Anytime I mention an outboard engine, there's always that guy who talks about how much trouble his engine is giving him. Boat owners can relate to a similar story from past experiences. Most of the time, the problems can be narrowed down by some basic tests that can be done at the boat ramp or in your backyard. I will demonstrate the spark test, the compression test, and some simple checks for the fuel system. First thing you need to do is, after you get your motor cover off, you want to make sure that your motor has compression. You want to start by pulling all the spark wires off, so when you crank the motor, it doesn't accidentally start on you. First thing you gotta do is take your ratchet with your spark plug socket and remove the spark plug. Once you have the spark plug off, you want to examine it, and the porcelain inside the spark plug should be a coffee brown, which ensures that your motor is running good. Once you have the spark plug off, you want to take your compression tester, which you can pick up at any parts store, and thread it into the hole in which you just pulled the spark plug out of. You don't have to take it too tight, just as tight as your hand can get it. Alright, Nikki, I'll need you to crank the motor. Your compression should be over 100 psi, and the cylinders can't be 10 pounds apart from each other. So if this cylinder was 100, this cylinder can't be 110 or 90. It has to be that way around the whole motor. So once you pull the spark plug out, or pull the compression tester out, you can put the spark plug back in. And just make sure you snug it. You don't have to take it tight, just next test is a spark test. You can do a spark test by taking your spark checker and inserting it into the spark plug boot, and then taking and connecting it to the ground on the motor, basically hooking it up to a bolt on the power head. I think I'll need to turn the key again. You'll see a spark going across the 2 points inside the spark tester. Once you're assured that you have spark and compression, you can go on to the fuel system. Well, let's say you don't have spark. Where do you go next? Simple checks you can do would be checking plugs, connections, seeing any cracked wires where electricity can be escaping. Also, where you see wires going into the power head, these are grounds, and if those are loose, it'll cause all kinds of problems with the ignition system. If you can't find a simple problem, most of the time you're going to have to take it to a dealer or your mechanic where they can go into serious checks with it and find out if you have more electrical problems wrong. Let's say you don't have compression. A lot of times it can be a cylinder head, or if you didn't run the motor with oil or the motor got too hot, you'll mess up the pistons or the cylinder walls, and it'll cause serious problems which will require the motor to be rebuilt. Again, if it's a serious problem with compression, you'll have to take it to your mechanic. So once you've ensured that you have spark and compression, go ahead and put the spark wires back on the spark plugs. Another thing you want to check if you don't have spark is make sure that your kill lanyard is on the key switch, because that will also stop the spark from working. So once you have this back together, you can go up to the front of the motor and make sure you have where your fuel line comes into the motor that it's connected or is not leaking or has cracks that would allow gas to get out. Another thing you want to check is that you have gas, or your gas is getting to the carburetors and there's no gas lines up here leaking or cracked. And sometimes if you have no leaks, you'll have to probably take it to your mechanic again to get the carburetor rebuilt. So those are 3 simple tests you can do just to find out where your problem is at. So it'll make everything a lot easier. So these are not always surefire ways to find a problem, but these tests can help you most of the time. A very important thing to do after using your boat is to flush your motor with fresh water for about 5 to 10 minutes by hooking up the earmuffs to the lower unit covering the inlet ports. The inlet ports are down here. The water goes in, and you simply slide the earmuffs on until it covers them, and it's got to be connected to a hose, and you just run the motor. If you run your boat in salt water, this will clear out the salt contaminants inside the motor so it will not corrode. It is also just important on a lake because while lakes may not have salt, they still have minerals and other matter that can cause corrosion or blockage inside the motor, things such as grass or mud, stuff like that. Be sure to keep up on your maintenance procedure, including keeping fresh gas in the fuel tank. Sometimes you'll still have to take your boat to a mechanic, but these tests can also help your day at the boat ramp if you're having problems. A phrase commonly used among boat owners is the 2 happiest days of ownership are the day you buy your boat and the day you sell your boat. They probably weren't aware of these tests, but hopefully your experience with boats can be better. So, you guys have any questions?
I don't.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Nope.